The wind swept across the desolate fields, carrying whispers of forgotten tales through the air. I stood alone in the heart of the Midwest, surrounded by the skeletal remnants of a once thriving farmstead. The sky above hung heavy with gray clouds, casting an eerie pallor over the haunted landscape. They called it the Harvest of Shadows, a place where the past clung to the present, like a lingering ghost. My journey had brought me to this forgotten pocket of the Heartland, chasing rumors of spectral encounters that echoed through the cornfields and rustling leaves. The air crackled with an unnatural energy as I ventured into the abandoned farmhouse, its time-worn boards creaking beneath my weight. The door groaned open, revealing a darkness that seemed to absorb the feeble light of my flashlight. As I stepped inside, the air became thick with the scent of decay, a musty perfume that hinted at the passage of decades. Dust danced in the beam of my flashlight, casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance with unseen entities. I could feel the weight of the past pressing down on me, as if the very walls held memories, waiting to be unleashed. The silence was broken only by the distant howl of the wind and the occasional creak of floorboards beneath my feet. I moved cautiously through the desolate rooms, each step echoing in the emptiness. It was then that I heard it. A soft murmur, a voice carried on the wind. My heart quickened as I strained to listen, the words becoming clearer with each passing moment. "Leave this place," the voice whispered, a spectral plea that seemed to emanate from the very walls. "This is not your world." A chill ran down my spine, but curiosity compelled me forward. I followed the ethereal voice through the labyrinthine corridors of the farmhouse, drawn deeper into the heart of the haunting. The air grew colder, and I could see my breath as I moved through the shadows. In the dim light, I stumbled upon a room frozen in time. A child's toys lay scattered on the floor, a rusted crib stood in the corner, and faded wallpaper peeled from the walls like the skin of a long-forgotten memory. The voice grew more insistent, weaving a tale of tragedy that had unfolded within these very walls. "The Harvest of Shadows claims those who dare to intrude," the voice intoned, a sorrowful lament that echoed through the empty rooms. "You cannot escape what has been sown in the fields of the past." I shuddered, feeling the weight of the unseen eyes upon me. As I explored further, the stories unfolded like pages in a ghostly diary. A family torn apart by the harsh realities of the land, their desperate pleas for mercy lingering in the air like a mournful melody. In the bowels of the farmhouse, I discovered a cellar door, its hinges groaning in protest as I opened it to reveal a yawning darkness below. The voice grew more urgent, a spectral guide leading me down into the subterranean depths. The air in the cellar was thick with a palpable malevolence, and I could sense a presence that defied the boundaries of the living world. As I descended the rickety stairs, the temperature plummeted, and a cold sweat clung to my skin. The beam of my flashlight flickered, casting long, distorted shadows on the damp walls. At the bottom, I found myself in a cavernous space, the air heavy with the stench of decay. The walls were lined with shelves, each holding jars filled with a grotesque assortment of preserved horrors, bones, twisted remnants of long-forgotten lives. In the center of the room, a figure materialized from the shadows. A woman, her eyes hollow and filled with a sorrow that transcended the boundaries of the mortal realm. She reached out to me, her ghostly fingers trailing through the air. "You have trespassed into the Harvest of Shadows," she whispered, her voice a mournful dirge. "The past demands its due." I felt a force pulling at my very essence, as if the room itself sought to claim my soul. The jars on the shelves rattled, and the air crackled with a malevolent energy. The woman's eyes bore into mine, and I saw the reflection of 1,000 lost souls within their depths. I tried to retreat, to escape the clutches of the Harvest of Shadows, but an unseen force held me in place. The temperature continued to drop, and I could see my breath forming ethereal clouds in the frigid air. The woman's voice echoed in my mind, recounting tales of tragedy and despair, a symphony of suffering that reverberated through the haunted cellar. In that moment, I understood the true nature of the Harvest of Shadows. It was not merely a place. It was a manifestation of the collective pain and anguish of those who had once called this land home. The past had woven itself into the very fabric of the Midwest, and those who dared to venture into its heart risked becoming entangled in the threads of a haunting that spanned generations. With a final desperate plea, I broke free from the spectral grasp and stumbled back up the stairs. The cellar door slammed shut behind me, sealing the darkness below. I fled the farmhouse, the voice of the woman echoing in the wind, warning me never to return. As I emerged into the open air, the sun began to pierce through the clouds, casting a warm glow over the desolate fields. The harvest of shadows had claimed a part of my soul, leaving me forever changed by the encounter. I walked away from that haunted farmhouse, haunted by the stories of the Midwest, knowing that the past would forever linger in the shadows, waiting to ensnare those who dared to listen.